Developing tonight as the deadline nears for Congress's vote on the Iran deal, a second Democrat is now breaking from President Obama and coming out against the plan. Today, Senator Menendez of New Jersey joined New York Senator Chuck Schumer in opposing the Obama administration. The announcement comes as some Republican candidates are making the Iran negotiations a top sticking point in this election. Senator Ted Cruz and Governor Scott Walker even going so far as to say that they would rip up the deal on day one if they were elected. But some candidates have taken a less strident view of that agreement. Take a look.
This deal, if you had the right, you'd have the prisoners back years ago.
Iran would still get money. I understand.
Can you believe that deal?
But let me ask you this.
No,
I understand there's a lot of people. I understand a lot of people are critical of the deal. But what deal can you come up with that wouldn't give Iran money?
Okay. I would
Wouldn't
never
give them a sanction.
I would have told them up front, by the way,
sanctions relief?
We will never give you back your money. We will never
Period.
give you back your $150 billion. You're never getting that money back. That's number one. Number two, before we start negotiations, you have to give us our 3 prisoners. Now it's 4. Okay? You know, when it started, it was 3. Now it's 4. Okay. You have to give us back. Without question, you have to give them back. And you know what? You don't want them, but we do. It's psychologically good, and it'll help us make a better deal together. That's good for you, okay? But I would have told them up front, you will never get your $150 billion back. They are going to be such a wealthy, such a powerful nation. They're going to have nuclear weapons. They are going to take over parts of the world that you wouldn't believe. And I think it's going to lead to nuclear holocaust.
Joining me now, Israel's ambassador to the United States, Ron Dermer. Ambassador, thank you very much for being here tonight.
Good to be with you.
So you just saw quite a bit of Donald Trump talking about the deal with Iran. What's your perspective?
Well, instead of ripping up a bad deal, why don't we prevent a bad deal? And hopefully people in Congress on both sides of the aisle, you saw Senator Menendez come out today, hopefully they will reject this deal and prevent it from happening, because it does many of those things that you just heard. It actually paves Iran's path to a nuclear weapon. It doesn't block it, and it also frees up a lot of money for Iran. I'm not sure that if Congress rejects the deal that Iran gets that money, because I think Iran would still be subject to sanctions. If Iran comes and complies with the deal even after Congress rejects it, then maybe that's their way to get the money. But I think if this deal is rejected by Congress, I think that you can start anew and you can get to a much better place.
Israel has to be looking at these many Republican candidates and wondering if perhaps one of them is the person that you'll be dealing with in the future. When you look at Donald Trump, and I know you know Mr. Trump, you've met Mr. Trump, is he somebody that you want to deal with as President of the United States?
Well, look, we're not going to get involved in your politics on either side of the aisle. The American people decide who their next president is. We deal with one president at a time. This president made a deal. We don't question the sincerity of his motives, neither President Obama or Secretary Kerry. They believe this deal is better for America and better for Israel. We just disagree. We think this endangers Israel. It endangers our security. It could threaten the very survival of Israel, and we hope that it's going to be rejected. And I hope every single person who is seriously looking at this deal will read the speech that Senator Menendez gave today, because he was very clear about all the problems with this deal. And here's a senator who knows a lot about Iran and has been dealing with this issue for the last 20 years.
But there are many people who watch Washington closely, as I know you do, who believe that this situation gives Senator Schumer cover with his constituents. It gives Senator Menendez that kind of cover as well, but that it will not pass.
Well, I think that there's a possibility that this deal will be rejected by both houses of Congress. I think it's definitely there. I think the more people learn about this deal, the more they're opposed to it. Americans oppose this deal by about 2 to 1, because I think people understand that Iran has been in a war with the United States for the last 36 years. They haven't forgotten the taking over of an American embassy, the hostages for some 444 days. They haven't forgotten the Marine barracks that were blown up in Lebanon. They haven't forgotten the embassies in Africa. They haven't forgotten the thousands of American soldiers who have either been murdered or maimed by Iranian-backed IEDs.
You're right.
So Iran is at war with the United States, and Iran is saying they're going to continue that war with the United States, and this deal gives them the opportunity within a few years to not only get nuclear weapons, but to get missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, to use those weapons. And I have news for you. Israel is on the same continent as Iran. Those intercontinental ballistic missiles, they're not for us, they're for you.
I got to go, but quickly, Ben Carson said he believes that the administration is anti-Semitic and that it's demonstrated in the way that they orchestrated this deal.
No, look, I don't think that we should be questioning the motives of the other side, just as I think those who oppose this deal, people should not be questioning their motives as well. Israel doesn't want to see a nuclear armed Iran. We also don't want to see war with Iran, because we're the ones that will pay the highest price of the war. But there is a third way. You can get to a better deal, and And all this talk of the opponents being only for war, the opponents not having an alternative, that's not true. We should sit together, scrap this deal, which is very bad, and work to get a much better deal, which will be safer for Israel and safer for America.
Ambassador Dermer, thank you. Good to have you with us tonight.
Thank you.